Morning. Prosperity day three. Day three prosperity mindset challenge. And first day, first day we worked on the thoughts that you have and the words that you normally say every day that may affect your prosperity, right, in your abundant status. Yesterday we worked on that concept of debt. DEBT, right? Debt, which is now we're going to call past expenditures. That's how we would call debt. And today, um, our prosperity mindset challenge is all about your money story. So if you look at, because money is in all of the different energetic boundaries, right? Physical, emotional, relational, and spiritual. So things may come up for you that you may not even know that it is blending in your daily lives, yet it is, right? And it affects your decisions, it affects your mindset, it affects, well, how you do things and how you behave. So let's open the floor to any money stories that comes up for you, because we know that money stories do come up every time you up level, right? Like every time you decide, by the way, I am gonna do something else with my life, usually that's when it changes, like the energy around that changes and your family looks at you differently. um, Everybody looks at you differently. So can I get some takers, like examples of how this has affected you? Go ahead, you can unmute yourself, just go for it. I am looking for a good stand for my, oh, here, okay, go ahead, Venus.
Well,
Well,
I am still working with you
yep,
and
yep.
discovering things about myself. So
Mhm,
I'm still trying to figure out and really key in and kind of see
mhm.
what are those patterns that's
So
within my mother money stories that's
right,
like coming
so
out.
let's
But I
start
do know
with, let's
I
start
just want.
with what happens when you actually, let's say you're encountering a bill, right?
Mhm.
Because bills don't stop, right? We're in America, so
Mhm.
bills keep on coming. So what happens? What is the first reaction for you when you look at a statement and go, oops? Like, what is
Mhm.
the first gut feeling or emotions that come up?
Uh, I do. I feel it in my chest. It'd be like, oh
Hmm.
Lord, like what? I
What?
can't. Yeah, that's what I say. Ooh,
Ooh,
Lord.
okay. And then,
Then what I should be doing. Just shout out to Pam and everybody at the karaoke party. The breaking the karma sticks.
breaking
See,
the karma
that's
stick,
now.
right?
Yeah, I feel like now, like if when I do that,
Very
that
empowering.
clear. Yes, it is. So I picked up that little tool, even though I'm still analyzing that specific pattern, so I can get it from that
Mm-hmm.
end as well. Do you see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
I got a little strategy about it. I'm a
Good,
strategist.
good,
Yes,
good,
yes,
good.
yes.
Perfect. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that has helped me a lot when
Mm-hmm.
I was in that state, right? So all of us go to a state wherein we have money, then we don't have money, or maybe we spent more than what we have, right? So remember that there are emotional triggers associated with it because of the money stories, right? So it's either you got the money stories from your mom, your dad. So if you look at how did your mother or how did your father respond when they get a bill? So now some of you may not have experienced that or may not have observed, but then just look at it. What happens when they didn't have enough? What happened? Did they fight about it? Did they blame each other for it, right? Like there's so many things that have occurred from the time we were little by the time we grew up. So how did your parents, Venus, react to money
Yeah.
stories, I guess, so, or
Yeah.
money depletion?
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you asked me
Mm-hmm,
this because I was sitting over here thinking about it.
mm-hmm,
And I when they really did. My dad was a
mm-hmm,
what we call like a go-getter. He's had his own business. So I
Mm,
didn't see anything where it was like when money was needed, it
mhm.
was like a point, like you just go get it. You just go get it.
Right. Okay.
But see, the thing is, on the flip side, I've always grown up. My mom
Mhm.
always felt like they could have been millionaires if my dad would have only made a few more, some other choices. You see what I'm
Got it.
saying in his
Okay.
life. So it was always not being where you should have, where you should be, or
Okay. So
you know.
remember that word should on the first day, right? So think
Uh-huh.
about and again, we're not criticizing or we're just observing. So we're a witness. Just think of it as you have been a witness to your parents' life and how they handled money. So if you're witnessing that, what is the sort of the theme of your dad? You said he's a go-getter, okay? And then your mom always looks at it differently and goes, if you should have done this and you should
Mm-hmm.
have done that, it would have been a different story, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what is that? How would you term that experience or emotion or
Mm-hmm.
even the backdrop of that for her?
Mm-hmm. Um, the experience is like, I shoulda, coulda, woulda, basically in a nutshell. And she has always been the
Delete, delete,
one.
delete, delete, delete.
Yeah, she carried the benefits, and she was the one that was stable because she worked with the state. See, so she had the benefits, she
Oh,
had everything
yes,
like
yes,
that,
yes, yes,
And see, my dad had a
yes.
real good job. That's where it started. He
Mm-hmm,
had a really good job at what we call Georgia Power, like a big, huge
mm-hmm,
power
mm-hmm.
company, right? And
Yes,
he quit. He
he
quit in
quit.
his early 30s and opened up his
Oh,
business. Though he was very
yeah.
successful, but she holds that against him, like. And I see that,
Mm.
yeah, I can see that. So it's shoulda, coulda, woulda
Oh,
on her
right,
end.
right, right.
Yeah, and
Awesome.
just observing that. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so hold on a second because I'm simultaneously doing this. All right. Oh, I don't know how this works. Oh my God, me and technology are just having so much fun. So I wanted Vienna Schmidt just showed up on Facebook Live. I want to say happy birthday to her because it's her birthday today. Happy birthday, Vienna. So, all right. I think she wants to be on camera. Let me see what happens if I add her on. Sorry, Vienna, I'm experimenting. So, but Venus, thank you so much for that. Oh, there she is. So I don't know how this shows up. Happy birthday, girl. So tell me, do you have a question to ask? Oh, I didn't know I could do this on Facebook. Oh my God. Thank you, Facebook.
Something new under the sun.
Ah,
Feel free to go ahead and finish with the other gal.
oh,
I
yes,
didn't
yes.
know what I was hitting. I didn't know I was going to appear like this.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, hold on. Well, I'll bring you off camera then, or do you want to?
Well, this is lovely.
Okay,
I'm very
cool.
glad to be here.
All right, awesome,
I
awesome.
didn't mean to interrupt. That's
No
what I'm
worries. No, Venus is, I think, done. Thank you, Venus, for sharing that. And go ahead.
Thank you. Happy
Yes, yes,
birthday.
yes, happy birthday. So go ahead,
Thank you.
Vienna, ask your question on your what money stories seem to come up, and then let's see if there's an aha moment or realization. Because being prosperous, right? We can't be poor and rich at the same time, you guys. That's really the key here. So it's either you're choosing the path to go one way or to go the other way, right? Like you can't be a victim and a perpetrator at the same time with the same person. But it just doesn't work. Hello?
Right.
So share with me what money stories were showing up for you. I guess now or even as you upgrade yourself and up level. What's going on?
Exactly. So this is a huge month of up level for me.
Mm-hmm.
I had just a month ago decided I think I'm ready to have my own space to live in.
Yay!
This big plunge, yay! With some of your, watching some of your things in your book and so on.
Yes.
And
Thank you.
so I looked at a 1-bedroom apartment in a 55 plus active community.
Nice.
With an in-suite washer and dryer. It's so exciting. It's just beautiful, brand new.
Uh-huh.
People just started moving in 2 weeks ago. So
nice.
my move-in was to be last week. It's going to be mid this next week.
Okay.
And in that process, though, and I just want to say the timing, even though it seemed off,
Mhm.
something was said that made me think about doing a 2-bedroom where I had been afraid, can I even pay for the 1-bedroom?
Yes. Giving
I made
yourself
that shift.
permission, right? Giving yourself
What's that?
giving yourself permission.
Yes, yes, yes. And I said, you know what? How am I going to succeed in business without an office? If I'm squished in this tiny apartment. So I said, you know what? I'm ready. I'm doing the 2-bedroom.
Got it.
So now I'm going to be in apartment 101.
Yeah.
Beautiful view. I'll be able to see both
1 plus 1 is 11, girl. It's good. It's good. Good beginnings. Angel number.
So, you know, 60 today. I'm just thrilled that this next 30 years I get to hold the pen and write the story.
Nice.
So,
That's so true. You do write your own story, right? Because in the past, I remember Vienna and I have been close friends from the time we started writing our books. The first book, right? My Awaken Your Medical Intuition book.
yeah.
And we kind of roomed together with other girls, right? At that time, we were saving money. You do what you got to do when you're in the story, so to speak. But the decision to become rich and prosperous starts from the very beginning. So, and I know I have this quote that I keep here by my, you know,
Nice.
office. It says, until one is committed, there is hesitancy. The chance to draw back concerning all acts of initiative and creation. There is one elementary truth that ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans. That the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help one that would never otherwise have occurred. A whole stream of events issued from the decision raising in one's favor, all manner of unforeseen incidents and meetings and material assistance, which no man could have dreamed would have come his way. Whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now. By W.H. Murray. Isn't that cool? So I always have this because even in my clients, I look at them and I go, they're not decided yet. Like they haven't decided to make 6 figures or 7 figures. They haven't decided to leave work and really have a business. So it becomes like a hobby. Like the business becomes a hobby. It's like, let me dip my toe in the water. I'm hoping it would work. But that's why it doesn't work, because the hope is not, I don't know, I guess I hear that a lot. You may want to delete that too, because the opposite of hope is hopelessness, right? So if you look at when you activate your prosperity mindset, all of the things that the reasons why you're not prosperous will show up. Remember the law of attraction? That's how that works. So when you decide, I'm going to buy a 2-bedroom, everything about the 2-bedroom, like, well, do you need it? Do you really need it? That's your mind, by the way. The second idea that comes in your head is always your mind. Because the other feeling, like 2-bedroom feels more expensive than 1-bedroom, right? But then you're like, are you sure? Where are you going to get the money to pay for it? Do you even have work right now? Like, what are you thinking? Isn't that too big for you? So I'm just putting some words in your mind. Like, how does it normally work, right? It will tell you all the reasons why you should not have it, cannot have it. The could have, would have, which we said delete right from the very first day. So what is the feeling? And this is the thing that I tell my clients, right? What is the feeling? Because whatever feeling you have, Vienna, for the first 17 seconds is what you're going to attract in the universe. So if your life is so used to, it doesn't work, that's what's going to happen. You will always find reasons why it doesn't work. So what are the, can you hold a good feeling? So please write this down. How much good can you receive?
Beautiful.
How much,
I've been
right?
flexing my receiver muscle.
Yeah, so women were meant to give. Usually we're trained to give. We have so much to give. And then you never ask yourself, well, what would I like to have today? What is that? So I'm going to ask you that question, what would you like to have today?
All right. Like this 24 hours?
Yep.
Or what am I
Yep.
looking forward to? Okay. Today, I'm not sure I completely understand the question. Like mindset wise
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
physical
No, just
money?
have. Yeah. What would you like to have?
Okay. I would like to have confidence that money is flowing to me.
Awesome.
And just no doubt in my mind, of course this rent will be paid and far beyond. And the other 3 of my debts will be gone as easily as the first 2.
Awesome.
And I'll have no need for debt in the future. I'll pay cash for everything. I'll have enough for everything I need, as well as to share with others and to fulfill my life mission, which I got a vision of this morning in more detail.
Ooh, that's beautiful. Okay.
I'm gonna just run forward.
Awesome. So go ahead and take a deep breath, though. So everybody that heard her, let's hold space for her to be able to find that confidence. So you'll see how a community helps you. Like when you are in a community of people that are really going the same direction as you, it's a totally different feeling, right? Because when, like in our community, our Gold VIP or 90-day success, we just build this like celebration. I guess we're always celebrating. So my 2 Gold VIPs were hanging out again last night, celebrating again, a few more deals. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like a day of celebration every single day almost. We even have our karaoke party again for Friday. So it's like every day is just a great experience, because when one wins, the other people go, wow, that's possible for me too. So then they're happy for the other person rather than like a crab pulling them down, right? So we truly eliminate a lot of those energies that are really not serving anyone. Because like that's good, you're up. So then if somebody else pulls you down, how does that feel? It doesn't feel very good, right? So and I want to introduce you to Sarah, because Sarah was in a different space in the past. Same thing. Her apartment wasn't working, and she moved into something else. So Sarah, can you go unmute and yes, can you inspire Vienna a little bit of what does it take to actually like step up into what you truly desire, right? Like, I'd like to have this apartment, and what happened?
Well, I mean, why shouldn't you have what you want? And it's like you want things for a reason, because your body, mind, soul needs it in some capacity. And being convinced that I should always accept whatever is as it is, instead of wanting or having the standard that feels good to me.
The standard.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't know what you're capable of, I guess what I've been thinking about the past day or so is, if I don't know what it feels like to have something, how am I gonna feel that feeling? But it's really important to go through those feelings, and this is how I feel. Like, I want to feel like this, and it really the universe responds right away when there's a feeling that you go after. That has really worked for me lately, and I didn't even have to go after anything. It just came to me, and I just focused on how it felt. And then it just showed up. And it was the first time, I mean, not the first time, but in a while. But yeah, it's wonderful to be where you should be.
Yeah, very good. Thank you, Sarah, for enlightening us there.
Of course.
That's inspiring.
Awesome. Feel the feelings, yes.
And I didn't say yet, Vivian, this apartment that I found, I said, oh, you have so many things for your residents. Would you consider a massage room? And she said, oh, of course. I used to be a massage therapist. So, in fact, would you want to be our independent contractor massage therapist for our 135 units? And I'm like, walk down the hall to work. Yes, thank you.
Awesome. Right. So instant work, right? So just giving yourself permission to have a second bedroom allowed you to actually have space for new clients. Wow, right? So see, when we don't try to predict what the universe has for us, because we're trying to control every single aspect of it, usually that's what happens, right? We try to control everything. By the way, control, you may want a different definition of control. So control doesn't mean it's got to be your way. It is kind of that way, but think of the definition of control as start, change, and stop. So you always have control. It's like a choice, right, of what you do in life. So let's say you're not feeling good today. Well, remember 17 seconds law of attraction. You're going to attract the same feeling. Well, you got to cut it out. Because if 17 seconds passes, you're truly going to call whatever shit show you're doing because you're doing it. So you're doing it to yourself. Start, change, stop. Okay, you feel the feelings, but what if the feeling is happening for 2 hours or the whole day, like because you're pissed off at someone? So ask yourself, why are you pissed off at that person, right? So you take a deep breath, remembering that the person you're talking about, well, maybe they're not conscious, they're not really sure. They're not sure of what they're doing. And every time you try to tell them, advise them, they don't want to hear it. So stop talking. Like literally, literally, like, why did you give advice? Did they ask for it? Because do you like to receive advice? If they don't want you don't want it at that time, maybe you're not ready, right? It doesn't mean you're not going to hear it. Perhaps at that moment, you're just not ready to hear it. So we're all in different phases in life. However, the more you acting out is what I call it. If it's too long, it's gone too long. Like a kid, tantrum, and you're like kicking and screaming. I mean, observe your children. That's how they are, right? No, I'm mad. And then you go, okay, well, you can't do anything because they're feeling the emotion. It's very healthy for kids actually to do that, right? To feel the emotions and let them be, instead of telling them, stop doing that, right? So you make them go through the phases, because then eventually they figure out that you're not really paying attention, or they're not going to get truly what they're trying to get from you. Then they shift, right? So they have their own form of control that you as a parent try to control. So we want the kids to actually be themselves, right? And figure out their own process. Okay, back to you. So back to our prosperity mindset. So thank you, Vienna. Thank you for, now see if you can exit off of the video, because I don't know how to do it from here. Oh yeah, I think I do. Thank you, Vienna, for participating.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Deanna, thank you for sharing. I want to just, oh my God, her story is so inspirational, Vivian, because I'm literally going through the same thing. This whole conversation, I just feel like Spirit is just talking to me and telling me things. So I'm just so grateful.
Awesome.
Oh my God.
All right. Okay, Amy is watching. Amy F, can you please look at Amy L on the Facebook Live? And if any of you have a question, please go on the chat. So share with us your money stories, and let's see if we can kind of digest that and pick it apart to see where it's coming from. So Amy F, go ahead.
Yeah, so Amy L on the live stream, she's saying for her family, money has to be earned, and that is the true sign of success, which is very common amongst Chinese American families.
Yes, that because of the long history of the struggles, the difficulty. I just watched Mulan a few weeks ago. That was fun too, right? It has to be earned. Honor and respect has to be earned. And that's how we were trained in the physicality of this world, right? So if you bring in the spirituality, so remember this, long time ago, we had farming, right? As a main industry, like even in the Philippines, farming, right? So you have to use your hands in order for you to make money. So think about the craftsmanship, like the different artists, you use your hands and then you sell your paintings, you sell whatever you created in order for you to make money. But that's only one way of making money. If you look at speakers, they speak on stage and they get paid. So they are using not their hands, but their throat chakra to actually make money, right? So think about strategists. They're using their mind, like the processes that they have in their head in order to make money. So where does that come from? Ideas, right? From the seventh chakra, and then your mind, your third eye, like putting all things together, your emotional body and logical body coming together in order to make money. Some people put money in investments and then live off of the investment, like the whatever residual, the dividends, right? The interest. So if you look at money is a tool, right? It's not like I have to work to make money. In the, if we go a little higher in the metaphysical plane, money is a receiving issue, right? So when I was showering this morning and preparing for this call, I go, what am I going to impart to these people today? And by the way, I'm so grateful you're all here this morning. It's Saturday and you're here. Thank you for sharing space with me today. So I go, just think about it. When you're an employee, you get paid per hour, right? So it doesn't matter how hard you work or how lazy you work, you're still going to get paid that per hour. And by the end of the year, Uncle Sam taxes us. So depending on that, so look at the system. The more money we make, the more taxable income we have. So let's say you made, conservatively, like let's say $20,000 a year, you get taxed, usually a little bit, right? Because that's a little bit above poverty line. But what happens if you make 100,000 or 200,000? You get taxed a lot more. So somebody that gets taxed 10% because of the small income. So what does our mind say? The conclusion is, oh my God, if I make more money, more is taken away from me, because when you hit 100,000 and more, you're usually at the 30% tax bracket. I know, because I've been there, right? So 10% versus 30%, it's kind of like in your head, you're calculating, oh my gosh, if I make more money, I actually get penalized for making more money. So that same mindset translates, right? So as an employee versus a business owner, two different mindsets, because the difference when we're a business owner, right? So if we make 100,000, but our expenses could be 90,000, right? For all the travel, networking, classes we put out, everything, right? That we do, gifts for clients. We only made 10,000, right? 100,000 was our revenue, our income for the year. However, 90,000 was the expenses for the whole year. What happens is we only get taxed 10,000 from the 10,000, not from the 100,000. The reason why business ownership has its perks is because there's a lot more you can do with that money. And you can enjoy your life a different way. That's the difference, because no matter how hard you work, you can have a PhD, a master's, some other certification. So some people are stuck on the certification. So what? It's per hour. So then the transition from employee to a business mindset is completely different, because when you're in business, you look at the value that you bring to the marketplace, not the skill you have, like not the per hour. Now, it doesn't mean you shouldn't deliver. Again, I always suggest you operate in integrity, because again, integrity with yourself bleeds out into the integrity with family and then to your business, right? So when you say something and your clients don't hear you, it's because you're still out of integrity somewhere in that circle, yourself, your family, or your business. Basically, that's what it is, right? It's the fastest growth track ever, like business ownership, because you got to like show up for you, show up for your clients. And by the way, your business is not you. So that's the part where people get tripped up, and that's where they get this, like they can't grow beyond a certain income because they think they have to do it themselves, like they're the best. So if you're still trying to prove that, there's something you're trying to prove to yourself, right? Or maybe you're not quite confident enough to stand on what you do, your work, because it's not about you when you're in business anymore. It's about somebody else. It's about your clients. So if you still don't know how to do self-care, right? And if you still can't hold that ground, right? You're not grounded enough. You don't know who you are. it's going to be difficult for you to go expand outside of yourself. So that's the part I wanted to share with you. That's kind of deep. And deep.
Very, very deep, Vivian.
That's kind of deep.
That's really deep. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
But anyway.
I feel like I went into a trance with that. I was so like, wow, this is such good information.
Yes. Yes.
Well, and when I open my mouth, it's so fascinating. I'm like, all my experiences come out, right? Because obviously I've been there. Like my first 5 years in business was like a bicycle ride, and I didn't know what I was doing. I had training wheels and all the wrong things that's why you hire a mentor. That's part of it, is you're paying for the mistakes that they've made already. And then of course, when you add the spiritual component to it, I always tell people, please listen to your intuition. And then all the other fears behind, that's just really just leave it. Like it's no longer your time to try to be in fear and in doubt. Like, yes, we feel those, but then you need to learn how to shift it right away, right? Because if you don't, again, you're stuck. Like your half of your body or foot is somewhere else in your past, and then you're not really in the present because there's still some cobwebs in your head and it's hanging out there, right? So know that, okay, so this is one thing. When you go into business, the first 100,000 is always like, oh my God, how do you do that, right? Usually there's a lot of work in the beginning. However, when you get there, there's less traffic up in your, when you hit 2, 3, 500,000, $1 million and higher, there's literally almost no traffic there, no competition. Like you set your tone, right? So I wanted to share that with you guys because the difficulty, all this fear, doubt, your family questioning you, all those happen in the beginning, right? And that's all part of the journey. Just enjoy it. You focus yourself on what you're wanting to achieve, right? Like, okay, you say, I'm going to make this, let's say 100,000, but then in your head, doubt, you're entertaining different thoughts from different people. Almost like your day is spent trying to clear the energy of those people from you. It's very tiring. Basically, you're trying to prove yourself to them. That's what you're saying. However, if you put on your business owner hat and you look at your goal and you go, okay, goal, I'm going to see you. I'm going to get there. Okay. And you're focusing on that line instead of you saying, oh, but my mother said this, or my friend said this. So you see how you're not going to get there because you're doing this little wavering thingy? And then your day, 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock passes and nothing happened. Nothing happened. You're paying attention to other things. So business owner, business is separate from you, right? And you have to feed the baby. The baby is the business. So the baby needs new clients. The baby needs, because it needs to make money, right? This baby, you need to feed this with food, clothing, and shelter. So if you don't have that mindset in the beginning, you think that it's about you. It's not about you. It's never about you. But I just want to share that with you so that you understand that your mindset, that maybe the universe, you're not allowing the universe to help you. That's the other thing. It's another control issue. Like, I can do this myself. I don't need anybody's help. Now I hire people that are better than me in most departments that I don't know, right? Like marketing, technology, even collecting invoice, because I don't want to stress myself with those things because I know that I can do the treatment. That's easy for me to do, okay? So then I focus on doing that, and then everybody else does their job. So I'm very happy when, again, you reset your energy and you attract the people. Like, you don't have to chase money because it's a receiving issue. So if you're very defensive about getting help, you're not going to get the help. And you're also not going to make money to pay that help. That's just a direct, I'm not going to fluff it up because that's the way it is. Okay, any questions with our Zoom people? What time are we now? I couldn't find the time, Amy.
We're at 36 after.
Okay, so
Yep.
is everybody still
We're right on
good? Any
time.
questions? I always go over. Oh my gosh.
I still have, I've been clearing and I
Yes,
noticed I still
Angelica.
have like
Mhm.
smoky stuff on my
Okay.
seventh layer of my third chakra.
Mhm.
And no, aura, I'm sorry, not chakra.
Uh-huh.
I've tried a lot of multiple things that you've taught me through the years, but it's
Mhm.
still there. So I'm not sure how else to remove it.
So you said in the seventh aura?
No, the seventh layer of the third aura.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so Angelica's talking as a healer, right? Because she's talking about chakras and auras. So, Angelica, let's bring it into practical terms. So, you're very good at the spiritual aspect of things. So, when you're in business, everything gets challenged, right? Because it's a brand new world. So, what is your concern that feels disempowering to you? Because that's third chakra, it's your power and capacity. So when you think about owning a business, is there a doubt? Is there a fear? Is there anything there that's coming up?
Yeah, there's always like the chance that it could fail in the back of in my mind.
Mhm.
And then also just the responsibility that goes with it. It
Mhm.
sometimes gets scary.
Mm. So do you already have an end result of how your business would look like?
I do.
Okay, share that with us.
Okay, so for me, I already decided I want to take commissions a certain amount per
Mhm.
month,
Mhm.
just because there's only so many hours in a day and I still want to spend time with my family. Like they're such a big priority for me and I want to have some self-care. So
Mhm.
I already know that that's how I would do it. I've already figured out the price points,
Good.
and now it's just trying to figure out how, like, if it's commission based,
Mhm.
um, how much will they put down for me to start the work, and
Mm.
then like how many edits before I turn in the work as well.
Mm. Okay. So have you decided how many days in a week would you actually devote time for your business?
I don't mind doing the 6 days a week, especially in the beginning, and I have a few
Mhm.
hours allocated each day.
Mhm.
But there's also days that I mean, every day I have to be with my family, and I have to also do the other things outside of it.
Okay, right. So these are the choices we make, right, when we have a business. And I do want to share with you that when you have, you know how people put down values and priorities, right, in the beginning, if your business is not in the first top four of your values, then it's really like, even, you know how some people go, I would like $1 million, but then they don't devote time for it. That's not going to work, right? Because in
Right.
the physicality of things, there are only, well, there's 24 hours in a day, but you got to sleep because you have a body, you got to eat, you got to do self-care. That's very critical. Family wise, you do have to reorganize that temporarily, because it's almost like you have a new baby. This new business is a new baby. And how much time does a new baby usually require? Think about your children when you first had them.
That's true.
Have every 2 hours, you got to feed them, right? 2 to 3 hours, almost sleepless nights. Like, that's the beginning of anything. So if you can appreciate the process of having a business, so when you make a decision to have a business, it's like having a new child, literally. And even for us moms, we have to be pregnant for like 9 months or so, right? And then the baby's born, and then the real work begins. Does that make sense?
It
So
does.
you're in the
Mhm.
pregnancy stage right now, if you look at it, and when you the thoughts, right, that black energy that you are sensing, it's called hidden, right? It doesn't have to be bad, but it's just like a hidden thing until you actually step into that work. So the reason why sometimes it doesn't quite clear is because you're not there yet, right? Like you want to be completely prepared, but then there's also a fear of failure. So if you actually, that's a good thing, that if you have the failure, it's kind of like getting a no. when you're doing a first sales call, I started like looking at mistakes equals money. So that was good. It's like, oh, that was a mistake. What did I learn from that? So then I don't keep on repeating the mistake. So if you guys look at mistakes as a way of making more money, because you can turn it around, right? So the first mistake you do, and I've done this when I started this business, I remember I go, okay, I go gung ho, and I go, ooh, yeah, that worked, and that didn't work. Okay. So then the next year, I stopped the mistakes because I knew it wouldn't turn out it wouldn't turn out the way I would wanted the outcome to be. So think about mistakes equals money, and then you can turn it around, right? So being neutral to the mistakes, being neutral to the no, being neutral to the failures, because you can't have success without the failure. You live in a world of polarity. Does that help you, Angelica, understand that part?
Definitely. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So you do have to delete your fear of the future failures, and then you strengthen yourself to be neutral to those future failures. So remember, with money, what are you not willing to receive? Because if you're not willing to receive rejection, you're not, the negatives, the failures, you're not willing to feel these negative emotions, your capacity for having the money also goes down. I was talking to some clients yesterday, and they were talking about somebody who is avoiding taxes. Gosh, you guys, you just have to learn different tools on how to reroute your money once you have a lot of it. You don't have to avoid taxes, because usually as soon as you avoid taxes, you start cutting your income by half. Like there are things in our world that exist, right? And if you start to try to avoid the physicality of that, you're also avoiding the other side of success. That's the truth. Okay, anybody else who has a question? Is there anything on Facebook that we question, or money stories that are coming up that you may need some help with? So
Can I tell a money story?
Sure.
Okay,
That's
so
Shipra.
hi, it's Shipra. So I'm going to talk about a success, and then I also would like, because I've done so much work with you, Vivian, throughout the years. It's just this success story. I'm still keeping it a secret. So, and I realized when you were talking from the beginning of, wow, you really have kept this a secret, and why? Because so what had happened was I saw on Facebook the lady that I know. She does credit repair. And I thought, well, I don't have bad credit. However, I have a lot of credit card debt from last year. And I've been saying to myself for about the last 6 to 9 months, like, what would it take to pay these credit cards off? Like, what would it take for money to just show up? So I connect with this lady, and she's like, well, Shipra, your credit's not bad. Just your credit cards are really high. I'm making a very long story short. And then she's like, let's just fill out this application. There's this money loan. You don't have to pay it back for a year, and then you've got, I think, 30 years to pay it back. And okay, we'll just fill this out. Not a big deal. And then this big challenge came along that was going to have to happen. And all I did, I sent in a picture of my cosmetology license, and she's like, you have to rush down and you have to get your business license. And that place was closed. So we're making it really big. And then boom, from the loan officer, oh, well, my cosmetology license was what they were looking for. And like, in a matter of just days, a lot of money just appeared into my checking account.
Wow, congratulations.
A lot of money appeared. It was enough money to pay off all the credit cards. And she's like, don't pay them all off. Pay this, pay half of this. And I have to tell you, it gave me a freedom.
Yes.
And the freedom that it's given me is, so when COVID hit, one of the JOBs that I had cut some of my hours. And I thought, I called them, and they love my work. I said, you know what? If you give me the hours back, or I'm going to quit. Got the hours back. So I started speaking up. It gave me that confidence and that power to speak up. Not in any mean way. It was just like, you know what? I'm just going to move on. If you think I'm so great at what I'm doing, show me how great you think I am.
Right.
What I realized in this call was I've been keeping, I kind of whispered it to my son. I said, in a group last week and I've kept it such a secret. And then I realized, my parents really kept money a secret. Like it was all,
Oh, wow, that's big for you, Shifra.
it was really like everything was
Yeah.
whispered and, I never knew how to take
Money
care
is
of
a secret,
bills.
right? Like they don't talk about it in front of the table, in front of the kids. And
It
yeah,
was
and then you're
never
like, why
discussed.
do I? So there's an element of shame there.
Yeah.
And how does it feel when there's shame? That's a very low frequency, by the way. Shame,
Right.
guilt, blame, criticism, everything's down the bottom. Like
And am I
50 and
worthy of
below.
it? And what, I mean, still
Yes.
when the money was in there, I'm like, it took me until last week. And it's been a
Mm,
month, but it took me until last week to realize nobody's coming to take this money.
no. Yeah, that's a
Nobody's
fear.
coming to take this money, that I did everything that it took to get this money, and why not me?
Yes. Very good. Wait,
Why
you're a
not me?
manifestor, right? On human
I'm a
design?
manifester.
Ah.
So
So
here's
a
where I'm
manifestor needs to tell somebody what to do. So you finally are stepping into that power. You got to tell someone what to do. And it's not like she's bossy. She sounded like it, but that's her beingness, right? A manifestor has to tell someone what to do. Literally. Because the more she dumbs herself down and tries to hide from being a manifestor, she's not going to be successful by trying to dim her light. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense
Yeah.
to me. So
Well,
the
yeah,
question
because
is,
it's you.
so how do what I'm doing now is drawing more people into what I do, because I learned to be a facilitator
Yep.
through COVID. That's one thing I
Yes,
took
very
classes to
good.
learn how to be a facilitator. So now I'm facilitating, and it's a very slow process. And then I've been writing a book for a year, and I'm stuck.
Nice.
And I want to tell you where I'm stuck at.
Hmm.
I'm stuck at, the book is written completely in my head. It is written, it is published, it is a success. I don't understand, and every weekend I say, I don't understand why. Just pick up the recorder and just start talking. And the phone's right next to me, and I don't understand why. I don't understand what's stopping me on this. And so it's me.
Yep. Very good. Yeah. So
Me.
for every fear of success, so if you look at this, right? When you invest in yourself, right? So she's already moving forward, but then she stops. So money loves speed, you guys. Literally. It needs momentum. It needs momentum. So if you're by yourself and you can't move yourself, well, who's going to move you? You can hit yourself in the head and say, come on, let's do it, right? Because if you have a business, by the way, and you're the CEO, right? And you're not doing your job as a CEO, you can fire yourself and hire someone. Literally. Like for me, that's not my genius is not being a CEO, by the way. Although I still have to learn how to be one for now because the business has to run, right? My job is a marketer. I'm very good at it. I'm very good at showing to people like, hey, this thing works. Come on in, right? Like that. I'm good at that. But then the production, as you can see, my Facebook Live and my Zoom, it doesn't quite coordinate. It's not quite fancy, but that's okay. I'm still showing up for you because I know people need to learn how to open their heads, open their mind to prosperity because they still have those old money stories and the world is not going to get better without you. Hello. As you can see, like sometimes our leaders, right, they do also get sick, right? And you do need to take care of yourself. Like it's not gonna fall from the sky without you working and doing something about it, right?
So true.
So you still have to work, you still have to do something, but you don't have to struggle, is what I'm sharing with you. If you choose that mindset, right?
So I'm making it more difficult than it really has to be. And if I just get out of my own way.
Find a book mentor, because that's how my business has grown, right? So I look at people that have had success and skills at that specific area, because once you invest money on something, it could be 10,000, 15, 50,000, it doesn't matter, right? But if that brings you 200,000 or $1 million, well, how much is that? That's really a completely good investment. It's called, I am looking for people that could bring me a good return on investment. So spending, right? spending money for something, like why is the book so important? Well, perhaps it could help more people about skincare or healing, whatever you're writing about. So it's,
Skincare.
again, it's not about you. It's about how do I get this book to so many people so I can help more people? Because once you help more people, you make more money anyway. It's just a side effect. So money is a side effect of you helping others to feel good, to feel better, to do good in the world. Like that's the side effect of money.
Got it.
Make
Thank you.
sense? Cool.
Yes.
Awesome. All right.
Oh,
So
I just want to share this one last thing.
Sure.
So yesterday on the first, a bill was usually due on the first.
Yes.
And that bill was that was the first thing that I paid off. The very first huge bill that I paid off. And even on the first, I had this like question of, do I still need to pay that bill? So it's still like in my head of acceptance of what's going on. Acceptance.
Now,
is very
the first
important.
thing, I think this is the major mistake of most people when they big slew of money come into their life. The first thing they do is pay off a bill. So you magnify that a lot, right? The first thing I would usually do is be grateful. I sit with it first and be grateful for this money that has arrived. Then I go, what caused this money to arrive this way? Like, how come the universe granted me this blessing? So you have to know what created that. So metaphysically, because finally the series of events that you mentioned pointed out to you being yourself and really being in control of your life. That's really what happened there.
Oh.
Does that make sense? So that's
Yes.
the bigger part of it, rather than just you applying for the loan. It's not that, right? It's more you became you, so you're stepping into your soul purpose. That's how you got there.
Right. And I also thought
Yes.
when I got it, of all that work I've done with you and Access, and
Right.
all that money that I've spent through that, look what
Finally
happened.
paid off.
Look, it not just paid off, it just showed up. It just showed up the way I've been taught.
Because you gave yourself permission, right, to actually have it, right?
Yes.
So so this is so much fun, you guys. And yeah, no problem, Angelica. Go for it. So thank you for everyone. Is there any other question on Facebook, Amy F?
Asking if Shifra can share the credit repair person's name.
You can just type it in there.
Oh.
Yeah. Type it in. Yeah. And then anybody else? Any questions, money stories?
No, Vienna's just saying thank you for sharing about the realities like taxes.
Yeah, that's the reality of it, right? Yep, thank you, thank you. So what I'm gonna do for you guys is I do want to invite you on my Prosperity Mindset Bootcamp. It's gonna start on October 13. That's a Tuesday. We're gonna do it at 4 p.m. And you know me that I do energy work. You guys know that I clear money blocks, and so far I have been blessed to be surrounded by people that are really decided to make 6 and 7 figures. So we just turned 2 people. Well, they created. I have created a lot of 6-figure incomes in the last 90 days or so. Not just this last 90 days, but myself as well know how to create that in one day. And I have had 2 millionaires, multi-millionaires this week. And we did that in the less than 90 days, right? Using the tools, the blessings that I've been given, the gifts that I have in order to get them there. And so, of course, they're moving, right? They do have businesses, and they use my guidance system to make that happen. So I look at other people that are still transitioning, like they're an employee or they're maybe half employee, half business owner. And I would love to help you guys really get to that mindset, right? Like, what is prosperity like? Because when you have a business, you gotta have prosperity. You gotta have that in your mindset. Because if you think the world is limited, well, how are you gonna grow? So it tests your own prosperity IQ, so to speak, right? So, and I have already certified some healers. So we're gonna bring together me and them in this 6-month container. So this is what we call the container for transitioning from employee mindset to a business owner, a profitable business owner, right? So we're going to do some group sessions once a month, every second Tuesday of the month for 6 months. And my certified healers and I would also appear like this on Facebook every single week to answer your questions like Q&A and things like that. And you're going to have 3 private sessions, 1 with me and 2 of my certified healers. So that's how I can give back to the community, so to speak, because of course my time now is with a lot of those high influential people that are changing the world, you know, especially when you start getting those millions, and they're actually closing a lot of billion-dollar deals now. So we're in the high numbers, yet I'm like, oh, some people still need help and I need to help them. So we're doing that. We're doing this challenge for that particular group of people. So I wanted to come back next Thursday morning at 9, right, next week, because I wanted to see when you've applied these principles that I have shared with you during these mindset challenges, I want to know your progress and I want to know the results that so far you've made. So you have time to make a decision with what you need to do with your life, with yourself for the whole week. And on Thursday at 9, I'm going to come back here. I'm going to give you a different link, right, for this. And we're going to talk about if you'd like to be part of this container, right, making a difference in your life and other people's life using Prosperity Mindset Bootcamp. So that would be the name of our program. And it'll start on the 13th. So I'm going to share that through email with you guys because we have like a 1-pay option and a 3-pay option. But I would love for you to come back on Thursday to answer some of your questions and to see some of your wins. Okay? All right. Thank you so much, everyone. And thank you, Amy, for facilitating. Goodbye.
Thank you, Vivian.
Thank you, Venus.
It's
Bye.
so meaty.
It
Meaty,
is. I know.
meaty. Yes, yes,
I talk.
yes.
Sometimes I talk too much and I go, oh no, what did I just say?
No,
Right
you
away.
were great. You were
No, that was
great. You were great.
perfect.
Yes,
Oh my
yes.
God. I know that was a lot of information. Sometimes it just, oops.
No, it was great, Vivian. Oh my God. So much substance. A lot of substance there.
Too much substance. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
okay. Now I got to go visit my mom, go to San Diego, and
Oh yeah, yeah,
have
yeah.
her
Happy
birthday.
birthday,
Aw.
Mom.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Oh, thank you guys.
All
Oh
right.
my
Well,
God.
Send her our love.
Bye.